Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Only a Moment, All It Takes to Get Enlightened. Why it feels so far. Mukti said Guru Adiyogi. Only a moment, all it takes to get enlightened. So anyways, let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
You think by eating, sleeping or indulging in this pleasure or that pleasure, life is complete. You still do not know the pain of ignorance. The pain of ignorance should tear you apart. Then the longing to know becomes intense. If the longing to know becomes intense, it is just one moment. The reason why it seems to be so far away is simply because the necessary longing has not come. It is just off and on longing, accordingly off and on experience. If the longing becomes so intense that till I know I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I cannot breathe, if it becomes like that, just in one moment you will know.
Question is self-realization possible for an animal? It's the question.
It's animal and uneducated, innocent, violent person.
See, uneducated, innocent, violent is different and animal is different. Now when we say animal and human, we are not talking in terms of which is superior. It's not a question of superiority, inferiority. It's a question of evolution. It's a question of energy existing in a certain level of evolution. See, it's the mud. The mud that you walk on is actually your body, isn't it? It's from that you're eating, isn't it so? And it's become like this. It's the same material, isn't it? But is it the same? Or let me give you a more blunt analogy. Today night you'll have dinner. Good food served on your plate. You like it so much. With so much like you ate this. Tomorrow morning, what has happened to this food? It has become shit, isn't it? Same stuff or not? What you ate with so much liking, is it the same stuff? Can you handle both of them the same way? What is it? அதெல்லாம் போயிடுச்சு. நாளைக்கு செடிக்கு அது போட்டாதான் திருப்பி சாப்பிடுறீங்க அதேதான் காய் பழம்.
Oh shit, hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say that. It's like, plants actually would love your poop. Tomorrow when you put two plants as manure, you are eating the same stuff again. Technically, yeah, the plants will turn some of the sunlight, I forget which particular rays, sunlight, water, and yeah, the nutrients from, well, from your excrement.
போட்டாதான் திருப்பி சாப்பிடுறீங்க அதேதான் காய் பழம். It's the same stuff, but you cannot handle both of them the same way, isn't it? Because they're in a different state. The food has become excreta. This you love so much that you don't want to go anywhere near it. Same stuff, same energy, but it's different. So you can't do the same things with both, isn't it? Similarly, it's not but once again, if you want to grow your food, you need either your excreta or animal excreta or something to grow, isn't it? So we can use it that way, but can we take it on our plate and eat it? No. So every state, the same energy manifesting in different ways, but you have to handle them different ways, depending upon in which state it is. So now, if I bring one dog here and try to make him meditate, I may love the dog. I can just caress the dog and make him feel comfortable and nice. Give him food, make him comfortable. I can love him, make him love me. That's all. But if I try to make him meditate, it will be foolish, because that is not how his energy is right now. Not because he's inferior or you're superior or something. Right now, that is the state in which he is functioning. Now, this energy has come to this state. Here, something else can be done which cannot be done there. So that's why it's being done here, not there. And there is nothing much to be done because most of it is in nature's hands for him. Okay? Not so much is in his hands. He is never a bad dog or a bad tiger, did you see? There are good tigers, isn't it? Only human beings are the problem.
You are the first live person who has spoken of so many of these things that I have read about, and now I'm sort of restless. I want to get on with it, if you will, and I know that's my mind, and I'm not even, my experience today has been that I haven't been able to appreciate, to receive life here today. I've been anxious to move ahead to experiencing life, but I can't seem to do it myself. I can't seem to sustain it.
Now, let's look at it through like an analogy. You're living in certain prison, let's say, there's a fort around you. Initially, if the wall is big enough, it all seems to be okay. Yes? Let's say this is 50-acre land, big wall, you lived in this only all the time, you felt quite all right. But then, suddenly you see up and the birds seem to be going beyond 50 acres. The wind seems to be blowing beyond 50 acres. There is something within you which gets into the madness.
Why can't I do that?
People who are around you who pretend to be sane, they all tell you, stop that nonsense, just do what you have to do here. Don't have such fancy dreams, you know. And they're telling you, the so-called worldly wise people, they're always telling you. But you cannot suppress this. If you suppress this, you will suffer. If it doesn't find expression, you will suffer. But if it seeks expression, you will suffer even more. A seeker suffers much more than others because now he knows the pain of ignorance. Most people in the world do not know the pain of ignorance. If you do not know the pain of ignorance, you have no real longing within you, isn't it?
Yeah, the way I like to look at that is the fact that when you have this urge to know and you cannot act upon it, even if, say, for example, in that example that Sadhguru here has said, like if everyone else is telling you, like, no, you shouldn't do that because it's not right, it's not the norm, and the norm is, just staying in that 50-acre land and doing what you gotta do, and you seeing all these birds wondering, what's on the other side of this 50-acre land with the fort, the walls. That eagerness to know and unable to act upon it, this desire that's growing upon you and you can't act upon it, you'll suffer and it'll keep growing and growing until, well, one day maybe you will act upon it, drive you crazy or whatever because you're constantly trying to hold it. And this is something that I've said about, how do I say, fighting against your nature or fighting against things in general. And what I mean by that, it's like if there's something that you want to do against, so long as it's not harmful to other people, you trying to turn away from it or fight against it is you're going to suffer because that's something that you kind of want to do. Now obviously it all depends on what it is, but still, nonetheless, you fighting against anything is going to be rough, especially if it's something that's instinctual or part of nature of you. You're just going to want to do it. But hopefully whatever that is not something harmful or crazy necessarily. And it's something that you can do and satiate that knowledge, that seeking of whatever that is that you're seeking, and satisfy it, and that way you can get that out of, I guess you could say that's like scratching your itch for whatever that is, the itch for knowledge of whatever it is. I'm kind of curious to how Sadhguru will answer this, because this is talking about a person who's longing to know what's beyond the 50 acres, beyond the fort.
You are the kind, if you eat a pizza, you are happy. I'm not saying you should not enjoy your pizza. It's just that if you eat a pizza, you think life is fulfilled. Now you still don't know the pain of ignorance. You think by eating, sleeping or indulging in this pleasure or that pleasure, life is complete. You still do not know the pain of ignorance. The pain of ignorance should tear you apart. Then the longing to know becomes intense. If the longing to know becomes intense, it is just one moment. The reason why it seems to be so far away is simply because the necessary longing has not come. It is just off and on longing, accordingly off and on experience. If the longing becomes so intense that till I know I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I cannot breathe, if it becomes like that, just in one moment you will know. Because what you're seeking is not sitting on the mountain or floating on the clouds, it is within you. You know, Jesus told you, though he did his initial marketing about taking you to kingdom of God, the moment enough people gathered, he turned around and said, kingdom of God is within you. If kingdom of God is somewhere, I don't care to go there, it's okay. If it's within you and you missed it, that's tragedy, isn't it? Isn't it so? If it is somewhere up in the heaven, I don't want to go there, I'm happy in Ohio. That's different. But if it's within you and you missed it, that's true tragedy, isn't it? Right now, that's the tragedy.
So if there's true happiness within you and you miss it, it's tragedy. But if happiness is somewhere else and somewhere that you cannot get to, then it's not, because you couldn't get there in the first place. This goes back to our previous video a little bit, where, you know, understand what you can and cannot do. Obviously, if you can seek happiness within you because it's within you, but you cannot necessarily seek happiness in heaven because you're not there and there's no way to get there as of yet. Hopefully not there in a rush.
It's right here and people are missing it. There was a time when I first came to this, if I just looked at people, I would burst into tears. Just seeing what they're missing. Right here I am exploding with ecstasy. People are walking around with long faces and it's there in them also, I can see it right there. But they are going about totally unaware of it. I would just cry. If I see people, tears would come. Now I got seasoned and I just laugh at them because there's no other way to handle life, you know. So, one of the ways is, now there is a wall, you jump up and fall down, you have a glimpse of the outside. There are many jumping methods. We can make you jump and have you see a glimpse of it. The glimpse is shown to you because that is not the end of it, that is the inspiration. If you don't have a glimpse, then you don't have the momentum to keep it going, isn't it? Mind becomes hopeless. Oh, maybe there is nothing beyond this. Maybe this is all there is, after all. Eating, sleeping, reproducing, dying. What else is there? This is all there is to life. You'll try to convince yourself. So a little glimpse is given so that now suddenly everything here becomes stale. You want to know something there. The glimpse is only an inspiration to give you the necessary momentum to go on with life, to go on with the search and seeking. Now, jumping and looking beyond the wall was good at one time. After some time it becomes frustrating because it's just one moment looking and falling back again. So what we need to do? Now jumping is not good enough, we need to build a ladder, isn't it? I have always described yoga as a ladder to the divine, because now you're learning how to build a ladder.
Oh, I thought you'd go a little bit more than that. A ladder to the divine. Only a moment's all it takes to get enlightened. Why it feels so far. So far, the last bit that I got was just an inspiration within the 50 acres. You get a glimpse of what could potentially be on the other side. But, you know, I guess he said that, you know, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's the same thing over here, what's inside, but maybe not. It's just that curiosity grows. That eagerness to know the truth of what is on the outside. But he explained also about looking inwards. If the kingdom of heaven is within you and you miss it, but how do you get a glimpse of the inside if no one tells you? Perhaps these are the people that's in that fort who never thought about looking past the walls, because they're busy building lives in and within the wall itself. Never thought about why the birds are flying over the wall or why the gust of wind is going over the wall. Just content with their life, I suppose. They never had that urge. This makes me think of Bhakti Yoga, where if you follow that, you know, there's no reason to go beyond the wall. You know, that's what I think about the people inside the wall and not curious. There's no real reason. They have everything they need within the wall. Why do you need more than just beyond the wall? You can get enlightenment. I mean, this is what the Guru said as well with Bhakti Yoga. It is the easiest path to well, he said, I don't know if it's enlightenment necessarily, but to happiness for sure. But perhaps well, I think he did say enlightenment, and I completely understand and get it. It's you know, where you just give everything to, you know, your God, and receive nothing in return. Do everything for him. Do the best that you can, and let God handle all the problems. And all the problems are lifted off your shoulder. You're not suffering anymore because the problems are no longer yours. But obviously, do what you can, and let God handle the rest, which is again Bhakti Yoga. That's what I think about the people inside this acres that he's talking about. It's like, you know, there's no reason for you to go outside. We have everything we want and need over here. And I guess the person that's wondering about the birds and the wind blowing over the hills is more along the lines of perhaps Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, perhaps. And more the people inside are maybe karma, but mostly Bhakti Yoga. Yeah, Bhakti Yoga. Because they don't seek to really... They don't care to know who they are or what they're not. Devote everything. Just be pure devotion. That's it. That's good enough for them. It's a valid path. Whereas the people who seek what's on the other side of the wall perhaps are Jnana Yogas. Because they want to know knowledge. I think. I mean, I'm thinking about things here. I could be wrong, but I think it seems a very fair analogy. People who seek to know what's outside the wall are Jnana Yogas. People who are content within being in the wall are mostly Bhakti Yoga because they have everything they need. Why do they need more? They don't seek more. They're content. And they devote everything to what's inside the wall and live happily. Karma Yoga, though, is kind of an odd one, but I think it ties in with Bhakti and Jnana in some sense. Then Raja also, I guess that is something that can apply to both people inside the wall who do not seek to be outside, and people who seek to be outside. It's kind of an all-encompassing, I believe. Anyway, just my thoughts out there. I'm not saying I'm right. Never saying I'm right. I am always right. Never. Anyways, that's my reaction to Only a Moment. All it takes is to get enlightened. Why it feels so far. If you like my concept, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.